Oh, konnichiwa. Good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're listening to this, everybody. Welcome to the Two Gamer Dads podcast, episode 26. Here, we're just two little gamer dads who talk about life. We invite interesting guests, interesting people that we like to talk to, and we just talk about stuff. I'm Ian, I'm your host, and as usual, always with me, my wonderful co-host Marv. Marv, how are you doing, man?
Hello.
You doing okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to Japan in
I,
2.5 weeks, so I'm definitely good.
Woo! The two gamer dads reunite
All right.
in real life, baby. All right, and with us today is another special guest. Usually, okay, so let me set up the scenario. Usually, okay, I wouldn't say usually, but maybe let's do 70-30. Marv, you think so? Marv usually sets
Yeah,
up the guest.
around there.
Marv usually finds a guest, and then I maybe 80-20, 70-20 to 80-30. I will find the other guest. So today, it's one of those special times where I found the guest.
All
And with
right.
me today is Joel. Hi, Joel.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing, man?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So recently, okay, before maybe we can just share how I know Joel in the first place before Joel fully introduce himself. So Joel, how did we meet, or how do you remember meeting?
So I went to Bible school one year. This is a really random year. My church said, "Hey, you gotta go Bible school." So I was like, "Okay, I'll go Bible school." And then the day I went to Bible school, there's this really buff dude with huge arms sitting behind me, and then he's like, "Hey, the answer's wrong." And then that's all I remember.
Wait, did I really do that?
Yeah, he scolded me. He scolded me, Jen and Henley about how we were doing something on the board, and then you're like, "You guys shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. Like you're doing it the wrong way." And then we just kept laughing at you.
Wait,
And then we just
was
kept
I
laughing
right
at
though? Was it wrong?
you. No, that's not my answer. Wrong answer. That's just your preference.
Wait, I don't remember this at all. Wait, this was in. Okay, so yeah, so I only remember. I don't actually remember the first thing how we met. I remember we met in Bible school, but was it orientation? Was it like like where Dr. Jerry did his intro
No, this
thing?
is Dr. Cole. This is Dr. Cole. So it was this nice old lady lecturer who was going around like helping us to decide things, like introduce us basically, because in this school there are a lot of like adult learners as well. So the adult learners had to get used to school once more. So it was basically a very nice casual scene. And here Ian was with his outfit, his very tight polo t-shirt at that point, and then he's like, wrong.
Joe, you could be. I honestly think you're making this up because I don't have
No,
any
that's so
recollection of
real.
this at all. Do you exactly remember what was wrong? I can't imagine me telling total strangers that it's wrong.
I think we were talking about like some sort of like chronological placement or some sort of like assessment of how we read the Bible at certain points, I think, or something like that. And then I think the way we had chose to arrange it was different from how you had chosen to do it on other boards. So we were rotating between different boards and had to rearrange things. So
Okay,
basically, we did it in such a weird way that you had to rearrange everything, and he was so upset. He's like, "You guys shouldn't keep messing up the boards." And we kept messing more and more.
Were you guys trolling me?
After a point, we were intentionally
I
So
making
have
it
it.
is
difficult
there
for
actual
you.
like correct way and a wrong way to do it?
No, there wasn't for this one. There really
Was it
wasn't.
talking about? Was it rearranging the books of the Bible? Were we doing that?
No, it wasn't. Maybe.
Because I remember
Maybe.
Dr. Cole has that thing, right, where she puts
Yeah.
So there are 66 books in the Bible, right? For those who don't know, and then it's
In the
it's
Christian
in the Bible, in the Christian Bible, sorry, and then generally, not always, it's thematically framed. There's some chronology to it, but it's not always chronologically placed. It's not always placed chronologically correctly. So okay, here I am. So I get, maybe that's where I got what went through with it. But anyway, I must go ask Marianne this. I honestly don't. Was Marianne there?
Yeah, she was. She was another group, I think.
Call in.
Yeah, I think she's another group.
Okay, I'll ask her later. It does sound like this kind of thing I would do, but with total strangers, maybe not. But anyway,
Do you give them spoilers about the Bible also?
I mean, they're all like, I mean, Henley and Jen are now going to be missionaries. And then Joel is a church worker as well. So
maybe Joel doesn't know, but in our gamer friends group, right? Chu and Ian has a reputation of being the person that gives up the most spoilers unintentionally.
Oh my.
Yeah. Although to be fair, Marv, I haven't done it in a very long time.
Yeah, you haven't done it in a long time, lah.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes when the reputation sticks, people will just make fun of you no matter how much you've changed.
It's like how you
Okay.
were
Anyway.
the murderer in the CrossFit.
Yeah. Just like how I
play.
play, I'm too good at social deception games, and now everybody knows me as the Christian liar. But anyway, okay. So, Joe, how about you share, for the people who are watching, how about you share a little bit of, yourself? It's up to you how much you want to share, but maybe, if you want, you can share a little bit. I know you do play video games as well. Share about your family if you want. I know you also recently moved house, so you can share about that too.
Okay. So my name is Joel. I am Chinese. Okay, so most of the time people actually look at me and be like, hey, this guy's not Chinese. Like, they think I'm Filipino, they think I'm Thai, they think I'm like Pan-Asian, they think I'm everything but
Can you ask
Chinese.
Marv, what when you first saw Joel like here, what do you think he was Chinese?
I thought he was Chinese, but I thought that you were very tan for a Chinese.
Yeah, okay. That's okay.
I thought maybe you
Yeah.
could be mixed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am a little bit mixed. My great grandmom is Indian, but that's actually not where I get my dark genes from. My dark genes actually come from my father's side. And the strangest thing is that my father is as fair as Ian. So it's like the funniest thing in the world when you go out for like a family dinner. They think I'm adopted.
I'm not even that fair, guys.
Yeah, but dude, you're pretty fair. Comparatively, I'm down. Yeah. So there's this. I remember like my mom had told me once there was someone walked by and said, "Oh, is your sir gone off to like eat like lunch?" And she's like, "Excuse me, this is my son. This is my husband." Like,
it's your sir.
Yeah.
That's super rude, by the way.
It is pretty rude. That's a rude 80s, rude 90s kind of period.
It's your sir. Okay.
Okay, so I mean, this is interesting because this comes to a point where, like now one of my close friends is gonna get married, and his mother-in-law to be is a bit racist, so she doesn't want me to be solely on stage. She wants me to be with like my wife, who's a lot more Chinese looking than I am, but like both of us as a combination, so there's a bit more like racially ambiguous.
As in your good friend told you that that's what his mom said?
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna ever listen to this. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. But in any case, yeah, something along those lines. But I mean, I think it's funny to include it because there's once as well I bumped into someone, and they were asking me directions for the area, and I explained to them where to go. And then the guy, the father of this family who was lost, said to me, "Oh, where are you from?" So I said, "Oh, from Singapore." Then he said, "Oh, are you Malay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Are you Filipino mix?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm just Chinese." And then the daughter kept tapping the father. Was like, "No, can you stop? Can you really stop?" It's just embarrassing.
She must be damn feisty.
I think he was. I was completely like laughing along because it's so funny to see the daughter like knocking the father like, "Hey, stop."
Okay, but that's not too bad though. That's not impolite. He was asking nicely, right? In a sense.
He was being polite. Like I think he was being very nice, and I thought it was very funny that she was so embarrassed by it. So I just played along and kept like going on with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's me. In a nutshell, I get racially ambiguous quite a bit. What I do on a day-to-day basis, I actually do a lot of arts stuff. That's my training. And what I do is kind of like Christian outreach-ish with art. My thoughts are always that sometimes the arts is a bit frustrating / lonely, and I feel that a Christian in the place shouldn't be too judgmental, should be a bit more loving and kind and things like that. So I try to be that voice there whenever I can be. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of what I do. I do arts myself. That means I will draw, I will paint.
Yep.
My own trainings in yeah, I did dream in chapel. Yeah, so like people are preaching and stuff and I'm there just doodling away.
It's okay.
Kind of thing.
Very nice sleeping soul.
Yeah, I have videos of them sleeping. Like full on like headbang sleeping kind. Yeah. It was really quite fun.
Yeah.
So I guess my personal training was in like graphic design and branding. So that's my training. Yeah.
We should ask him to do an art for us.
A logo piece or something.
Two Gamer Dads, podcast logo art.
Okay, as long as we can afford his commission.
Okay. I can share my history with video games because I think that's quite specific to this podcast, right? So, my video game history goes way back when, because I was, my parents did computers when they met in the earlier years. So, my dad is a computer analyst by training. My mom sold computers. So both of them met in computer school actually.
Cool.
Oh,
And yeah, so actually when they had me, they were very disappointed. They were like, "Oh no, we have a son. There goes our Macintosh that we wanted to buy." So
wait,
they actually
wait, why?
What? Yeah, what's the relation?
because I was not planned for in that sense. They weren't
Oh,
actually
the money wise. I thought there was like
Money-wise,
girl
yeah.
being Macintosh.
No. Yeah, okay. They honestly expected a girl as well, so they weren't sure of my gender until like later on. They were like, "Oh, it's a boy." They did it to sell away all the girl stuff they bought at the start.
Oh my gosh.
Did they not
Yeah, it's
have,
really funny.
Gender testing in.
They did no. They had the
They
ultrasounds
did,
and all
they
that kind of stuff,
They did.
but they
Even how your
just
parents know.
yeah,
Exactly.
they just didn't get the right photos at the right time. And by the time they got the right photos, I think it was like the
Oh,
second
man.
trimester, so like 6 months in, and then they're like, "Oh, let's sell all our girl stuff and
You were shy
get the guy
fetus,
stuff
maybe.
on."
You were very shy fetus.
Yeah. That's what they said. That's what they said. That's
You were
the
shy, you
exact
cover-
phrase.
you cover your-
Shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was modest. So when I came out, they were like, "Okay, my dad and mum were like, well, okay, let's make this son of ours, learn all the computer stuff possible." So I was introduced to computers really young. I was a tester for all the education softwares that my mum was selling at that point. So I had learned a lot on computers. That means I learned most of my English, most of my math, and all that on a computer screen. I had like the Sega Saturn. No, I didn't have Sega Saturn. I had Sega Genesis. And I had a Nintendo Famicom system thing.
Me too.
So
Super
Famicom was
Nintendo.
my grandfather's. Yeah, Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Yeah, and my granddad had that one. It was a bootleg copy that he had. So it was full of like it's like 64 games in one kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so yes, some of
Is
those.
that
So
sell like
I was,
along the Pasar Malam, that kind.
Yeah.
that's probably where he picked it up. Yeah. So I played a lot of Super Mario growing up. I played pinball a whole bunch. There was once I remember I played pinball so long that the screen started talking to me, and then there was a point I was like, okay, it's getting intense.
Is it in your mind, you mean? It's in your mind.
In my mind, it was as real as possible. That means the screen was literally like, you got to stop playing the game you're playing for too long. And then I was like, wow, it's off the screen. I went lie down for a bit. Yeah.
Okay. So he's a gamer.
Yeah. I grew up in that whole phase of that. Yeah.
Yep. And then after that, did you? I know you didn't. So that was. I mean, Sega Genesis is really old.
Yes.
I would say it's more than 25 years ago.
Is it my first console also? When I was like.
Yeah.
Primary school, right? P2,
maybe.
P3.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So did you progress with consoles and gaming, or did you kind of like have a break in between?
Okay, so this is where I'm almost purely a console gamer only until like maybe my late teens. It means I really only played consoles. So I played Sega Genesis, we had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 we skipped out because I went into Xbox instead.
Oh, so you did the Xbox, what's it called? One.
I did 360. No, I didn't do one.
360.
I did 360.
Isn't 360 the PS2 era?
Yeah. So PS2, then
you went to,
360.
you stayed in the same generation as the PS2. You skipped the third console generation. Okay.
Because PS3 felt like, okay, I don't mean to this, but
no, it's fine. PS3 is the weakest PlayStation, I think. Out of in terms of the games library. No, I mean if I ask you now, what are some famous PS3 games, it would be hard to figure out.
Yeah, that's true.
Metal Gear Solid 4. That's the only one I can remember. But anyway. Okay, yeah. So you did
okay.
You did PS1, PS2, Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Did you go into the PS4 generation?
No, I did not. I actually skipped out that one.
So that's where your console ended.
Okay, so after 360, then at that point was when I started toying around with Steam because I was old enough to get my own debit card, and then they had the whole the whole Steam thing where you could get your own stuff. So XBLA and Steam survived me through my late teens. Yeah. So Xbox Live Arcade was like that was the place I loved. I lived on the indie games for so long.
Yep.
I think one of the favorite ones was like Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy was like a real nice, like jumping around, slimy platformer.
Old school.
Yeah, crazy game.
That's old school. Yeah,
that's fun. That's very fun.
And then now I know because you own a Mac, so you're not you can't really game as in like you can't really game as much as if you on a Windows PC. So you game on light gaming.
Okay. So this is the part. This is the part where you can game quite okay on a Mac. Like there were
Yeah.
ways to hack your Mac to make it work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I could play like Dota and stuff with my friends on my
Mm.
Mac. You can play like Counter Strike and all the other stuff that you need to play. The only thing is that I guess because of this kind of games that I was playing at that point where like XBLA kind of games and the whole indie genre, I didn't really need the PC gaming community / group. So when I just found out I can live without a PC. There were nice games that I wanted to play on the PC that I didn't have on the Mac, but
Yeah.
very few. Most of them ported both ways, especially for the indie games. So I was pretty okay.
Okay, so you're the indie games kind of. I mean, that's very you lah. To be honest, you're indie a lot of things, not just
Yeah,
games.
I am.
So if that's the case, then what was the last game you played? Can you remember?
Like recently, like within this year, I've been playing Octopath Traveler.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
on what? On your
Okay.
Mac?
So in the past,
Switch?
okay. So in the last year, I bought a Switch.
Ah, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I convinced my wife. that a Switch was worth getting, so we got a Switch. Yeah.
I mean, the Switch is the most sold console in history. I think.
I know.
It's definitely the most family friendly.
It is at this point. It really is. Yeah.
But I would say it's really overpriced for how long it has been on the market. How much?
Okay,
did you get it first hand or second hand?
Okay. So here's the story. Okay, the story is that I have two Nintendo 3DS. Okay, one was bought over from my friend. And then the other one I bought. My other friend gave to me basically.
Okay.
So after the 3DS came out, I asked the same friend that I bought my 3DS from. Okay, funniest thing, he's my runner in NS. So when we go through national service, I have to play this role called an officer role, and then I have this guy who runs and helps me carry my stuff around and packs my bag for me. It sounds ridiculous, but I need someone to actually pack my bag for me. So he packs my bag for me, and then one day we're just chilling out, both of us. I was like, "Hey, can you sell me your 3DS?" He's like, "Really? Okay, sure. How much you want to buy?" I was like,
"You mean a Switch or a 3DS?"
3DS.
Oh, okay.
So the year after I bought my 3DS from him, he's like, okay. I said, dude, I need to buy a Switch now. Should I buy it now? He said, in the 1 year that you've asked me this, the 3DS, the Switch has gone up by $200. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? It's like $300 last year. It's like, yes, it's $500 this year. This even no, it wasn't even COVID yet. This is like a year or two before COVID. It bounced like crazy. It really went so high. Yeah. So after the Switch first came out, they were like, "How do we sell this thing?" Right? Then it bumped in pricing by quite a bit. After it bumped in pricing, COVID hit and it maintained its high price. It did not go down after that. So I bought mine first hand actually. Post COVID, I had to wait post COVID, and I was like, you know what? I think it's a good enough price. I bought it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get the OLED version or the O version?
Yes, I got OLED version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
how
do you
much
play
is the OLED version now?
Okay, OLED was 400. I bought mine for 400. But
okay,
right now
it's okay. What? Yeah, that's
it's very good deals. I mean, honestly, it's really great because now it's what 450, 460.
I think
but I bought mine for
400 used
flat.
to be the price of the original Switch.
Yes,
Right, Marv?
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know because Marv bought my Switch.
So
So
what happened was I was the first one to get a Switch in our gaming group.
Yeah. Marv is the early adopter.
I think I got a new iPhone, and then I went to Far East to sell my old iPhone away, and then I had like a whole stack of $50 notes in my pocket, right? And then I was like walking, then I was like, hey, gaming shop. Then I walk in, hey, Switch. Then I just bought the Switch. Then I brought it home.
Oh my goodness, it's such a baller move.
My wife was like, what the heck, man? But okay, it paid off because she played a fair amount of games on it. Like she played Breath of the Wild,
Okay.
Pokemon,
and D3.
I also have two 3DSs. Or rather, I have one and my wife has one because my wife does game a bit. Then I think Ian was supposed to go overseas, right?
Yeah.
So
I just came. Did I just get back? Oh no, this was before I went to
China. You're going to China.
Yeah, I think I was going to China. I haven't gone yet.
So a group of us like put money and then we bought him a Switch.
No. The story was that I went to Marv's house and then I spent like an hour just playing with his Switch or something.
Yeah.
Then I think Marv was like, "Wow, this guy really loves it. Okay lah, let's go find some way to chip into this poor missionary."
That's really cool.
You'll be blocked
That's really
all
cool.
the regular Steam library and all that.
Yeah. So that's how I remember because I played Pokemon Let's Go when I was in China.
We got you the Switch, and did we get you Octopath?
No, you guys just got me. I don't think Octopath was out yet
Okay.
at that time. Yeah, just was.
That was really good though.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, how far are you in now?
I think I've gained my 5th character. I think.
Oh, okay. So you're still on Act 1. of
Yeah,
each
I haven't
character.
gotten all the character yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are 4 acts, by the way, for each character. So you got a
Okay,
long way to
okay,
go.
okay.
Yeah, Marv has played it. How long did you play, Marv?
I think I finished Act 1, then I stopped.
Of all the
Okay,
8.
okay.
Of all the 8 characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
It is
Okay.
It is one of my favorite games. And Octopath Traveler 2 is coming out soon.
It's out already. It's already.
No. Traveler 2 is not out yet.
Is it
2
not?
months.
Huh.
No, it's not out yet.
Okay,
Trust
okay.
me, I would know. I'm the biggest JRPG person in our group. All right, so that's kind of your gaming history. Okay, before we jump into other things, let's talk about the reason why I thought of you, apart from you being a good friend and you also being very interesting and having controversial takes, is that you are also a big you are big into building keyboards. Like I think you weren't that into it. You only got into it, I think, during when we were studying. Because I remember that before we met, when we first met, I don't think you were that into it yet. Were you?
Okay. So this is the thing. I like keyboards as a whole, but I only started building mechanical keyboards like during COVID, like after circuit breaker kind of timing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when So Marv wanted to recently build a keyboard. I think did you use a Razer keyboard before that, Marv?
Yeah, I was using a Razer keyboard before that.
Was it a mechanical? No, just a regular gaming
mechanical
keyboard.
with the Razer switches. Razer has their own switches. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, let's get Joel on. At least can connect them to build. Okay. So how did you get started into building? Or can you share a little bit about? Because I know there's recently, in the past, I would say, I don't know, 5-10 years, there's been a big resurgence of interest in people wanting to build their own keyboards. Now there are YouTube channels dedicated to just building keyboards.
Yeah. Okay. So I had always liked keyboards, but I wasn't sure why. So I had the old white Mac keyboards, and I would buy a number of them. So 3 or 4 of them actually. And I've always just wondered how much more could I go on a keyboard? And then I would get the Logitech ones. I get all the random Dell. I had no idea mechanical keyboards existed until I started searching out a little bit more. I happened to have a friend who was actually interested in mechanical keyboards and already had 1 or 2. So I said, hey, can you hook me up with anything? Is there anything you can recommend? He gave me these links for $100 keyboards. I'm wow, $100 on a keyboard. Is it Bluetooth at least? And he's like, no, it's a wired keyboard. I was like, wait, why are we paying $100 for? Yeah, so I was thinking, $100 for a wired keyboard is too much to pay. And then I said, okay, you know what? Give me a few months. I'll come back to you soon. Then one day I just looked at what is a mechanical keyboard, and then I went for the sound test, and then that was just deep dive into the wrong rabbit hole.
Oh no!
And then that was it. I could not. I would go to sleep hearing the sounds of mechanical keyboards.
Wow.
So it was really bad.
It's like crack. It's like cocaine. It's an addict.
It was really like that. It was really like that. Yeah. So that was in maybe September 2020, and then now we are in 2023, and I've got a lot of keyboards.
How many do you own? That's a question, right?
Okay. I gave away quite a few. Okay, I gave away quite a few. Right now, I think my collection is probably about 14. I think.
No, that's conservative, Marv. As in,
I gave away stuff already.
And if you want to ask the question, how much have you? That's not the correct answer. The question you should ask is not how many have you built. It's how much have you spent. And the correct answer to that is way, way too much.
So how do you answer that?
As his wife will say.
Oh, you only have 2 hands. Why do you need so many keyboards?
Okay, so let's take it with the exercising routine, right? So would you wear a pair of running shoes to go powerlifting?
No.
Yeah, because it does different things, right? To your heels, your body.
I don't do 14 different sports.
I mean, let's just pretend it's a snowy day, right? Yeah, there's a snowy day in Japan. Are you gonna go skiing? Yeah, you might go skiing, right? And then will you wear Nikes to go skiing?
Yeah, but you see, the function of a keyboard is the same. Okay, so
okay.
I get with this because different keyboards. Okay, maybe before you get into that, right, for our viewers, right, and even can you enlighten us what is the difference between a regular keyboard, like the stuff that you buy from, that you get free when you buy a desktop at Simlim? Yeah, they give you that cheap ass $15 keyboard, those OEM from China kind. Between that, or even just a regular, most Bluetooth keyboards are not mechanical.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between that and a mechanical keyboard?
Okay, I would say the biggest difference is the typing sound and the typing feel. Those are the two things.
Okay.
Sound and feel come most key.
Most what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Most
Like the most key
important.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I know from a very basic point of view. When you press your keyboard, there's something called a switch at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. That's the part that is pressed and it sends a signal to your computer to tell you, okay, this is the letter E. This is the letter R. Okay. So am I right in saying that even in regular keyboards, there's switches or everywhere, right?
Okay, no. So for example, your Dell keyboards or whichever, like your base level $15 keyboard or even Logitech keyboards, okay, those use a rubber membrane and on the top, and then there is two sheets of electroplated plastic paper kind of thing. They're probably proper terms that I'm missing out on. So these two things touch each other whenever you press down. So that itself is. So if one part breaks, is the whole keyboard is gone. It means that it's jagged at one point. Your $15 is gone. I mean, it's not that much.
They're not individual switches for each individual piece.
Yeah, not individual switches. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that too.
So you're okay. So those are the cheap regular keyboards, right?
Yes,
so
that's right.
The difference between that and a mechanical keyboard is that for a mechanical keyboard, every key on your keyboard has a switch, individual switch. Am I right? And that switch.
So I pull out one. So it looks like this. This is what a switch looks like.
Yeah, and then you put the keycap, which is the one that shows you the number, right, or the letter. On that thing, and then as you press it down, it depresses the switch, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So it goes down like this.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and the reason why you said just now that typing feel and typing sound, those are all affected by the switch, the quality of the switch. Am I right?
That's correct. Yes.
So it's nothing to do with also the switch and it's the keycap. The keycap has nothing to do with it, right?
It has some things to do with it.
It's in terms of like the feel itself of pressing it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for example, like this is very concave. Like you can see, it's like a lot of there's a bit of a curve to it. There's an angle to it and stuff like that. So I have other ones that are like for example, here, let me pick out this one. This one's like flatter, so it's like not as curved as other ones. It's still an angle, but it's more flat. So every time you put a finger on something that's like less flat or more flat, you will feel the difference.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right.
Yeah.
It kind of like fits your I mean, your fingers are obviously not flat, right? If you have something is wrong, it's convex, right? So it kind of fits in that concave.
That's right.
Okay. So in that sense, it affects the typing feel. But I know, like, for a fact that people always talk about how some keyboards are more tactile, some keyboards are more. I mean, this are okay. So to rephrase why I know this. Okay, my keyboard is built by Joel.
Nice.
Thanks, Joel. I've been using it religiously. It's my only keyboard here. If it breaks, I'll ask you for a new one. But anyway,
I'll fly.
So it is really awesome. I love it. And when he asked me what I wanted, he told me, "Do you want a clicky or tactile keyboard?" I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is a tactile? What is a clicky? So can you enlighten, like, if let's say someone like Marv, who I wouldn't say he's a keyboard noob, but compared to you, he's probably not as well versed as keyboard as.
I know
or maybe let's say
I know.
we know the basics.
What tactile and what clicky.
Yeah. So let's say if I wanted to buy, which I didn't know, or if my mom wanted to get a good keyboard, what are the things that you would tell them to look out for?
Okay. So usually the as much as I don't like to talk about this first, this comes into play, which is how much are you willing to spend on the keyboard?
Okay. So that's the first question.
Yeah, that's always the first question. Yes.
Okay, so let's go with that then, since you're the expert.
Okay.
How much should a mechanical keyboard cost?
Okay, so if you are talking about like a complete like bespoke experience and it's like unique to you, one of a kind.
Is there a button?
Yeah. There is, and it's called Joel, do it for you. And I was like, yeah. So this experience of it and that full way through, that can cost like, I mean, okay, it's a little bit cheaper now, but close to 1,000 maybe.
$1,000.
Yeah, close to 1,000, and you won't get it straight away. You'll probably have to wait like half a year, or even 2 years at most for
Because you have to
some
custom
cases.
mold your whatever request that you
Yeah.
have, right?
Okay, so that's the extreme
Yeah.
end, right? That's the
That's extreme end.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one that your mom or like your dad or like a casual person will be like, oh, I want to try a mechanical keyboard. That kind of pricing, I would say like 80 to 100. That's a safe amount to spend. Yeah, 80 to 100 is about safe amount to spend for that. You can get a basic like Keychron is a very simple, straightforward brand that a lot of people have. It's not the best. That means you can't do many things with it. But what I mean by can't do many things, meaning like if you want to customize it later, it is a bit more challenging, and you do need quite a bit of trial and error to change a Keychron because they make it in bulk, so they can lower the prices by a lot. So so every part is bulk produced. It's just like a factory stamping out the thing. Whereas if you get someone to do it by hand for you slowly, they're gonna do it one by one. So everything is very custom. You can change any part you want mostly. Yeah, that's the pros of it.
It's like the difference between buying a suit from G2K and then going to a proper tailor, like those bespoke tailors, and getting cashmere silk, and it affects the quality and also the skill of the person who's making it, right? Who's suited for your body. But can I just ask obviously you're maybe a little bit biased because this is kind of like your big hobby, but like the difference between a Keychron V6 or whatever and like the most bespoke experience, would you say the difference is incredibly vast in terms of the typing experience that you're going to receive?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to feel the difference.
But it depends on what you use it for as well, right? It depends on how heavy of a user you are, right?
No, I think this is from first touch you'll feel the difference. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like having
this type because
A5 Wagyu and like Jack's Place stick.
Yeah.
Place. No. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but the baseline for mechanical keyboard is not Jack's Place. Right? Like your Jack's Place to me, right? Okay, because Jack's Place is so bad. It's like your standard, your OEM keyboard machine that you get from Dell. That's Jack's Place to me. At least this is like at least this is like Aston's at least. Let's start there.
Yeah, okay.
Your Keychron is like an Aston's. It's like it's still it's cooked medium rare. It's still juicy. It's not your transcendental experience that an A5 Wagyu is.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after you talk about budget, which you're ranging from $80 at minimum. Actually, no, you can get much cheaper ones, honestly, because I know you can get it on Amazon for you can buy it directly from like OEMs, right?
Okay, so this depends then on where do you want to like even though you're spending a cheap amount, do you want to fake it or do you want to get something like a bit more genuine? Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like you want to buy Adidas or Sadi. You know what I mean? The basic Sadi versus the basic Adidas. It's still different, right?
Whether you want the Pasar Malam experience, where your Pikachu is blue instead of yellow. Okay, so $80 to let's say $2,000. The $2,000 being the most ridiculous bespoke experience you can receive.
Okay. I would say let's probably peg the highest tier. Highest tier is probably like 5 to 6K right now. I think that's about average price you can pay for.
That's like the kind that that's the kind that where people make it for like PewDiePie kind of experience.
No. PewDiePie is probably cost like 3K. His will cost less, I think. 5 to 6K means that you have to win a blind raffle. That means it's usually the raffles are usually pegged to the top 10 votes, right? The top 10 highest bids and the lowest paying of the top 10 bids. Yeah. So it's usually about 6K.
So you're basically paying for it anyway.
So you can't
you might not even get it.
You can't even use money to force it out. You have to win the raffle.
That's right. You have to
and
win
the
it.
raffle entails what? For them to custom make it to your specs, is it?
Okay. So let's say this is called Keycup. This brand that does this is called Keycup. Keycup is known for their anodization of their metals, meaning that they will custom CNC their parts for you, and this is then finished in a very spectacular way. And sometimes they'll get people to come in to do the customization and the finishing. So a famous one is Tfue. Tfue's keyboard was a Keycup keyboard. So Tfue's Keycup was done by this guy called Teha Types. And this was one of the bigger ones at that COVID period, one that really, really blew everything up. So if you look for like Tfue, Teha Types, TFUE, right? And Teha Types, then he has that one. That was probably about 6K. I think that would be about 6K.
Damn.
Maybe they would pegged it as 3K, but I would call it 6K.
I'm looking at Keycult now, and like the basic one, the white color one,
Yeah.
is $560. That's the basic one.
What? But it's on sale. You can actually buy it.
I know. I don't know. I'm just looking at that. No, they're all out of stock.
Oh no.
But the price.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
The
about right.
prices
Sounds
say
about right.
$550. Right.
I was shocked that you could buy it. I mean, if you could buy it, it means that
now.
if someone no.
No. I'm not saying you can buy it. I'm just saying that's the price. I'm not talking about availability. Okay. So 6K lah, but that's like most people aren't even thinking about that, right?
Yeah.
People who are buying 6K keyboards are generally either ridiculously rich or they're very specialized anyway. Like this keyboard, they know what they're buying, right? They're not just getting into it without knowing what they're getting into.
So there's this very famous video of this guy explaining his keyboard story. So he starts off with like a simple keychron. Then he goes into the next one where he's doing custom tofu. Tofu is a certain keyboard that you get into at certain levels. So it's like a very medium entry keyboard. It's called tofu keyboard. Then the higher tiers come along, and then he buys a keycard really quickly. So the idea of a keycard seems affordable, especially when you are in that range of like, hey, it's actually only 2K. Like there are like a watch costs like what $50,000 for a watch, right? I mean, so what is 2K in the scale of something that I'll use every day? So it's if you have money and you actually don't mind it, people actually throw money down for a keycard quite easy sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
That was the
argument
that I used to convince my wife to let me get an Omnidesk.
That's the argument you can use for everything.
I was like, I'm gonna use
I use it
every
every
day.
the daily driver.
Why would I not pay like 1K for the table when I already pay like 3K for my PC?
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, the hard part about keycard. Okay, so keycard, right, is a very specific sound. We call it a poppy sound, poppy/clacky sound. It's higher pitched because of how it's made. Basically, the people who made the keycard like strung it together in a very specific way that it's very hard to replicate. So you can't get it done cheap. And recently, they've been trying to make cheaper versions of something like that, but it's still not the exact same thing. Okay. Yeah, so the sound quality you get won't be the loud, the bassier, talky sound that a lot of people are going for at some point. So actually, a lot of people who bought keycard were like, "Oh no, it's so much higher pitched. I did not expect that." Then they would sell it off, and then they would just buy something cheaper because it makes the sound that they want.
So can I ask, is keycard, do they use their own switches?
No, they use Gateron.
Yeah, because so let me ask that next. All right, so like for switches, right? I know there are different kinds of like mine. What is mine again? Holy Pandas? Are mine Holy Pandas?
No. Yours are Kale Royal Royals, Royal purple ones.
So the people who make switches, right? I know they're like cherries and like Gateron switches, Gateron brown, Gateron blue, all the different colors, which I assume is different type of switches. The color is just a name way to differentiate the switches, right?
Yeah.
These are made by switch manufacturers. They switch. So the people like Keycult and Teha types, whatever, all these people who are physically building the keyboards or making the actual board itself, they are separate from the switch manufacturers, right?
That's right.
They're actually just building the keyboard using the switches that are already available on the market.
That's right. Some manufacturers will try to make their own keyboards, and some will try to make their own switches. Like they'll try to do it the other way around.
Like generally, people don't generally like that.
Okay, it depends. It really depends. Yeah. So it's usually a hit or miss. I would say there's a very famous brand called Rama. I have Rama boards. They were really controversial last year actually for some reason because there was a company split. Then someone wanted to sue for the patent and stuff like that. But controversy aside, the Rama brand decided to make their own switches.
Okay.
It was not like well received by everyone. Everyone was like, it's a very meh switch. Okay. On the other hand, there's this brand called shucks, what is it? Okay, it was Glorious PC Glorious Gaming Race. What's it? There's this brand called Glorious.
Sure.
Have you heard of that brand before?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So Glorious does keyboards and they do mice. They're famous for mice and keyboards. Then they went into.
I've heard them. Yeah. They do mice, so yeah.
Yeah. So then they went to make a Holy Panda switch, and they tried to claim the patent for a Holy Panda switch. The trouble is that Holy Panda was made as a community switch, meaning that two people came together and said, "Hey, let's try and make this work.
It's
And then
open. It's an open source switch.
yeah. So
It's
the
meant for everybody
community,
to use.
the keyboard went nuts. The keyboard community was like, how dare Glorious come in and tell us that they own the Holy Panda now?
Yeah.
So they called it a Glorious Panda. This switch was actually a really, really good switch. I actually
Glorious
have,
Panda.
yeah, Glorious Panda. It was really good. Honestly, it's a very nice switch. So if they put a Glorious switch into a Glorious keyboard, it would sound pretty okay. Not horrible. Yeah.
So
that was
okay.
the only one.
So
only
apart from
exceptions.
apart from price, let's continue this thing. I want to build a keyboard. Apart from price, let's say I tell you, okay,
Yeah.
my budget is $300.
Okay.
Let's just tell you that. Marv, you bought yours for how much recently?
It was on
Marv
sale.
got on.
199 USD.
Okay, so
So that
about
was the first one that I
300.
ordered, right?
Yep.
The second one was
Mhm,
about
mhm.
250 Sing.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say I want one that's $300. What
Okay,
are the
okay.
next set of questions that you would ask me?
When do you want the keyboard? Do you want it like now, or do you want it? Are you okay to wait?
Oh, not even like what size is like when do you want
Yeah.
it? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say if I say I want it now, you just tell me buy
Uh-huh.
Keychron or something like that.
I'll tell
Let's
you
buy
to buy
something that's
actually.
mass produced, right?
So
Easy
the
to
one I
get.
actually go for now is, especially if it's like $300, right? I would say go for this brand called shucks, it just slipped my mind. It's a oh my goodness. Oh my
It's
goodness.
okay.
This
When you
is
think
literally
when you
just
think
my
about
mind.
it, you can find it later. When you think about it, you can let us know. So $300, you just tell me, just get that.
Yeah,
So
I'll,
just
I'll
buy
tell you,
it.
get this keyboard. It's actually going to cost you about maybe $70-$80, but you can mod out all the parts and it mods really well. So because of
But
that, I'll say get it
Yeah.
for that price.
But I would say,
Yeah.
like, let's say for most of us, right, we're not gonna mod our keyboard. We're just gonna
Yeah,
either
yeah.
ask someone to do it for us, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah. So let's say because there are people like me and Marv who are not really interested in modding our keyboards. We just want a great mechanical keyboard that we can use because we are gamers at heart. We are not. We don't really want to get into this as a hobby. So after, let's say you tell me $300 or $80 or whatever, what's the next question that you would ask me?
Okay, so at $300, you're already like stuck to a 60% keyboard.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
if you want a bigger
let me-
keyboard, you need to pay much more than 300.
Maybe about five. You should be aiming about $500
Okay,
ish.
and okay. So to tell people what a 60% keyboard is, mine's a 60, right?
Yes, yours is a modded 60. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a 60% keyboard. For those of you who are at home and can see,
Size wise.
size wise, basically, it has no function keys. It has an arrow key, but it's not separate. It doesn't have a numpad, and it doesn't have any of the print screen, all that stuff. What's that area called? I don't know what's the area called. The one in between your numpad and your keyboard.
Yeah.
Right. So this makes it a 60% keyboard, right?
Okay, so yours is a modded 60, meaning to say it doesn't always look like that. 60% usually looks like this, where there's no arrow keys at the side. I gave you arrow keys because you wanted it. So yours is actually like a squeezed 65. I mean, I would call it a squeeze 65 because of the functions still exist on a 65% as yours does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's at the size of a 60%. Yeah.
Okay. And then as you go up, like when you say 70%, 80%, what do they add first? Do they add the numpad first or they add the function keys first?
Okay, if you add 70% would be function keys first. And arrows. Function keys and arrows will usually come for 70%. And then like this is 80%. So we call this a TKL.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
is 80%.
is like my only TKL I have.
TKL is 10 kilos, right?
10 keyless, that's right. 10 keyless is your number pad
Actually,
is
they
your
removed the
10
whole
keys.
number pad.
Okay.
So this whole area is gone.
I assume 100% is your whole full thing, right? But then what's 90% then?
Yeah.
So I'm using a 96. Is it called 96?
Yes, that's right.
So it's basically a full keyboard.
But you don't have squish the function area is squished.
They put it here.
It's meshed up. It's meshed up into the side. This area here. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they removed like scroll lock and something else. Not very sure.
Yeah, print screen. Is there print screen?
Yeah.
Numlock, print
is
screen,
there.
and page up, page down, home. Yeah, all these things.
They're all there. They just removed two keys.
So are there keyboards that are bigger than 100%? Are there 110% keyboards?
Okay, so the moment you go into the array, right, it goes into things like macro pads. It goes into things like
Uh,
functional knobs
like
and
your
stuff like
like
that. lah.
okay, like an additional knobs that you need, but those are
Yes,
really
that's right.
niche for creatives, maybe more for creatives.
Yeah, something
What-
like that.
So after that, you talk about size, and then only after size do you talk about switches, or you don't even talk about switches at all until later.
I'll talk about switches late, like about now. I think about now after we have to confirm your size, have to confirm like how much you're willing to wait and spend on it. Then I'll say, okay, now I can talk about switches. What kind of switches you can afford?
Can afford based on your budget, right? And how long you want to
based
wait.
on your budget.
So
That's
so
right. That's right.
just briefly talk through very briefly, because I know there are a
Okay.
lot of switches, right?
Yeah.
You don't go through all of them, but give me like the genres, the big groups of switches that differentiate things.
Okay, so basic one is your linear switch. Linear switch means just goes down one direction. So the one I was showing just now.
One direction. You mean there are switches that go to four different directions?
So like this one, it just goes straight
Yeah.
down. There's no resistance along the way. It's as simple
Okay.
as you get.
So linear as in the pressure wise is from 0 to 100 is like a straight
That's
line
right.
curve.
So if you see the graph, it's just like it's just a straight line graph. The next one after this would be a tactile. So tactile will have a little bump right in between it. So I don't have my switch opener with me because it's still in my packing
It's
somewhere.
fine.
Yeah, but basically there's a little leg there that will bump this portion. The mechanical switch is made up of a few portions.
Yeah.
The little leg will give you, instead of a straight line graph, it'll be like that.
So basically, as you press it, you kind of need you need to push it a little bit harder to get it over the hump. So that's what I mean by tactile, right? Because you actually feel that hump as you press it.
Yes,
Am I correct?
that's right.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be a tactile bump. Okay. So the two comparisons between these two, I would say, is like, your light switch at home, and you press a light switch. That is more like a tactile switch. So you feel a snap down. You can feel it. It's a release point that's like a certain pressure. You can feel it.
Okay.
That's a tactile switch. A linear switch would be the road crossing switch, where you can go to it and you like slam down a whole bunch of times. That's a linear switch. It just goes one direction, and you can feel that it's a very simple resistance down. So that's a linear switch. Between those two is your basically your tactile and your linears.
Okay.
So the last range after this is your clicky switch.
Okay.
So clicky switches literally make a sound. It goes click. So it just click, 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 and it's because there's a little mechanism inside. So for like cherry clicky switches, we'll have a jacket on the outside. That means that there's a little jacket inside this that will sort of rattle when you press down. So when you hit the tactility bump, it flicks this thing back up and makes a click sound. So Kale, for example, so Kale is the one that you have. Like Kale switches, they changed this idea and they put a little bar there. So your tactile leg flicks this bar and the bar snaps back onto your switch. That's
okay.
Yeah, so those are kind of two patterns for it. Yeah.
So when someone says clicky and tactile, the actual resistance wise is the same.
Okay.
Similar.
So last year there's this group called the Key Company, and they launched especially tactile clicky switch. It means that
especially tactile. It's like everything you want in a clipboard. It's loud and it's hard to press.
Thankfully. Thankfully. So this was something because it was very hard to find a switch that was tactile and clicky properly. A lot of clicky switches just became like sort of like you couldn't really feel the tactility after some time. You just felt the click. You didn't really feel the tactility. You didn't have that snap to it, So they brought back this switch called the Blackberries, TKC's Blackberries, and they were a clone of this old switch called the Aristotle's. So Aristotle's existed in another form of a switch. Like this switch that I'm holding in my hand, this shape is called an MX style switch. It's got two pins at the bottom, and then it's got like this little thing. Yeah, so MX style is the classic one. Is the standard one now. There were switches called ALPS switches, ALPS. So Apple was one of the major ones who had ALPS switches, and they discontinued it. Basically, it's very hard switch to change. It's a weird function.
Mechanically, it's hard to work with.
Yeah. And when they made membranes, they're like, let's just do membranes instead. And MX was just easier to maintain as well. So they stuck with those two, MX style and the membrane style. So the ALPS clickiness of an ALPS switch is remarkable. Is really different. I actually have I managed to buy off an old keyboard that has ALP switches inside, and it feels so great when you click down. It really really makes a huge difference when you click down. Yeah, so that they don't have that technology in MX style switch. They can't bring over. It's just not how the switch works there.
So Marv, you have a tactile one. What's your switches?
So
Oh, you have two keyboards now, but
yeah, the one that Joel recommended me was Halo something, right?
Yeah, Halo True or Halo Clear. I
So,
think one of those. Yeah.
I have a question for you. So
Mm.
so that one eventually came, after the whole like hoo-ha of being delayed.
did they charge you, by the way?
They did.
Okay.
Obviously they charged me.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, but it
Does it
came,
charge double or once?
no,
No,
once,
just
but
charge-
it came eventually. Like
Oh,
it was
okay,
late for
okay.
like a month.
Okay.
Then this was the other one that I got from Landing Pad. I think it's a Singapore company, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this one I got
Mm.
the Gatoron Brown switches, and I gotta say I actually prefer these switches because they're so much easier to press.
Okay.
Like I was using this for like a month, right? Then when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shift one came, I found it like a lot harder to press. Like, I had to use
Yeah.
more force to the point
Yeah.
where sometimes I'm like, shit, I thought I pressed it, but actually I didn't press because I was so used to this one. So my question is, can I actually remove this and put into that one, or are they like separate? Or am I not able to remove them?
Okay, so what is that keyboard? It depends on the keyboard type.
So this one, right? This one is a TOM 980. I don't really know what the
Okay.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, I just know it's Gatoron SMD Brown, but I don't know whether it's what do you call that, soldered or like swappable. But I thought it was swappable. Yeah.
From what I'm seeing on the page now, it looks swappable. The only trouble is that sometimes when it looks swappable and then you actually swap it out, it's two different things. So this comes into the hot swap territory. Okay, so this is really really nerdy. Okay, but the hot swaps are made different. Like different hot swaps are really really made different. There's this brand called Phantom that does keyboards as well. So Phantom's keyboards hot swaps are friction fit, meaning to say that you just have to like pop it in and it has to sit nicely and then you get it connected. So I don't like that at all because I don't have any like certainty. It feels shaky to me.
Yeah.
I think the toms are okay and they're not friction fit. So the toms will probably use Kale hot swaps. Kale hot swaps is a type of hot swap. Okay, yeah, there you go. I just saw it. Yeah, so you can actually swap them out. You can actually use the
tweezer.
The head. You can swap the
Okay.
Oh.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
I'll
do
do
that
that.
one by
So
one
Marv,
for every single.
yeah, you have to do one by one, right? So Marv likes the one you recommend, the Halo. He likes
I prefer the
the
brown
form and the function, the way it
Yeah.
looks as well, and the keycaps as well, right? You prefer the
Yes,
keycaps?
just the switches. I prefer the other one. Yeah,
Mm,
because the Halo one
mm,
requires
mm,
like a
mm.
bit more strength
Mm.
to activate.
So okay. So we call the Halo Trues, right? We call them sharp tactiles or heavy tactiles, meaning to say that you do need a bit more force to knock it down. Versus the browns. So browns, we consider them like okay. So it depends on who you're asking. Okay, I used to say quite scathing remarks about the browns, which is that they're not really tactiles. They are more linear switches because you can't really feel the tactility if you're going very fast. So whereas if you're on the Halo Trues, you'll definitely feel the tactility like as you're like playing it through. The trick to it is also to swap the springs. So for example, the browns bottom out at 55 grams. Halo Trues should be bottoming out about 65 or 63 grams, somewhere around there.
When you say bottom, it means to fully depress it, right?
Yes, that means the full
Really
activation
minimum
of the thing
force.
coming down over there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that plays a huge part. For example, most of my personal preference for typing is probably about 62 to 65, depending on the spring type as well. So the springs give you like whole range of things.
It's kind of crazy that okay for people who are watching this, right?
It's like the things inside the switches also.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
it's not just the type of switch. It's not just the name of the switch. It's the stuff that makes up the switch, the spring and everything.
Is it though for me if I wanted to remove all the switches?
Okay, as a first time, I'd say first time I just carve out like a whole day to spend on it, like literally a whole day. Yeah.
Okay, because I tried to remove the switches from the other one. I tried to
Yeah,
look for a
yeah.
switch and I couldn't get it. Like,
Okay,
I was really
okay.
scared. Like, I don't want to use too much force because I was scared that I'll snap it or something.
Break it.
Yeah, yeah. I've been there, and I've broken so I know exactly how that feels. Yeah.
So
Is
if I wanted to buy like a whole set of switches instead of replacing them, like swapping them,
yes, you could do that. You
is
could
that
do that.
possible also?
Yeah.
How much
Yes,
would a
very
set
possible.
cost?
For
switches.
your keyboard, you need about 100 switches. Then, okay, so switches are sold in packs of like 10 or 35 or 40, depending on who you're buying from and what the brand is. Most of the time, it's sold in packs of 10. So you just buy 10 packs of switches. Right now, I think Gateron Browns will probably cost you about maybe
wait.
$5 or $4.
Oh wait, when you say because there's okay. So you just buy switches
Because
and they
every
don't
switch is
care
the
about
same size, right?
yeah. Okay.
That's right.
Interesting.
So if it's
Yeah.
$5, it means he has to buy like $50 lah for 100 caps, for 100 switches.
Yeah, and honestly, that's really affordable. Like, yeah, this is not bad price, man. That's really not bad price. Let me try and find the exact pricing of a brown switch right now. So brown switches are not difficult to find. It's just look, there you go. It's about $350. Yeah,
Or
about
10.
$350. Yeah,
So
about
35
$10.
bucks. That's good. So are browns like quite? I mean, you said they're very common, right? But they're also common and good for a good reason, right? They're easy to use. They're nice to use as well.
Yeah,
Right? Usually like the good, like the famous ones like Cherry MX and whatever. These are like very well known, but they're well known for a good reason, right? They're popular.
Okay.
They're like pop music, right?
So this is going to be a bit crazy. Okay, so there's a proprietary chemical mix for every plastic that they use. So Gateron's plastic mix is common enough that they can reproduce the plastic mix easily. And
So it's a combination of-
Cherry,
okay.
yeah, then Cherry has been so secretive about their plastic mix, and they don't release how they make the plastic. So people have to buy Cherry specifically because of plastic.
Wow, this is. I mean, but it's the
Yeah.
way they protect their business model, right? It's the way that
like
they.
the 11. Is it 11 secret herbs and spices? Is it 11?
I mean,
yeah.
KFC.
Or is it 13? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's 11. I think you're right.
Yeah. No, so the hard part, right, is that when someone dies, then the patent goes with the guy, you know? So this is, again, I share this because it's a very specific story. There's this guy called, there's this company called Nixdorf, Nixdorf. They're the ones who make the, your ATM machines, you have the buttons that you press. Those machines are made by Nixdorf. The patent for Nixdorf was tied to Cherry MX at one point in time. And they made these switches called Nixie switches. And Nixie switch, individually, one sells for $7 USD.
Oh.
One
this
switch.
is just
Wow.
Yeah, and these are alphas. We call them alphas because they are on your alphabets part, right? Those here. The space bar, one space bar Nixie switch costs $20 USD for one. So there's a myth. The myth in the keyboard community is that someone has a board full of spacebar Nixie switches. Like that's a myth, and we don't know if it's real. No one dares to like show it. No one talks about it, but everyone knows that it's there somewhat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they tried to recreate Nixie a few times, but they have been somewhat unsuccessful with it. But not bad. I mean, the current tones sound pretty nice. I can't tell because I don't have a real Nixie switch with me, and I'm not willing to pay that much. But yeah, I think they're trying to get there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, we talked like 45 minutes on keyboards, which is awesome because I learned a lot actually about keyboards, so it's awesome. But we do want to talk about other things. So for regular listeners of our shows, we do something called DAT recommendations, where Marv and I and the guests kind of recommend something, whether it's a movie, whether it's a game, whether it's an object, an item, or software even, that we think we love and we think benefits people. So we asked Joel to do it as well. So what we do is we play an audio clip of it, and the other person and everybody else tries to guess. Okay, so how about let's go in reverse order. So we'll start with Joel's first. Okay, so Marv's going to play the clip, and then
you guys can listen at the same time.
Yeah, so Joel, you won't be able to hear it on here. You have to play it on your own in Discord.
But the listeners can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, but listeners
All
can hear it.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna play it in 3, 2, 1, play. What's that? I just hear people laughing.
Yeah. Oh, do you hear the sound
Yeah, I
of the
heard something
thing?
like rolling.
Okay, so it's unfair because I watched the YouTube video because I needed to watch it to download the thing, right, the audio clip. So I kind of know what it looks like. I don't know what it actually is yet. But Marv, you want to take a guess at what do you think it is? What does it sound like?
Actually, it sounds like a ball rolling down
Yep.
something.
Oh,
But I've no idea what it could be though.
yeah. I think you don't know what it is and
Yeah.
why people laugh at the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Joel, do you want to put us up on misery? Tell us what it is.
Okay. So it's this game that I saw recently, and I was like, really want to get it. It's a contraption that has 4 balls rolling downwards, but there's one in the center that goes around a circle. So this one that goes around a circle is called a bomb, and the aim of the game is to get your ball in as close as possible to the bomb, so that you can get the most amount of points. The one who goes after the bomb minuses away the points. The trick to it is that you don't know exactly who will release first and who will hold back to the last minute. And if you hold back to the last minute and you hit the bomb, after the bomb, then you minus points.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. So,
So-
the first person who goes
Is
gets
bad.
0
You don't want-
points.
Yeah.
But the
zero
last
Yeah,
points.
they get 0
goes
points.
Also loses because he's nearest to the bomb. Correct?
Oh, okay. If you're nearest to the bomb but on the safe side, it's okay. If you're on the after the bomb, then you minus points.
Yeah.
Or you get
So
demerits
basically, 4
after that.
people,
Yeah.
the first and last guy are the worst lah. Is it?
You want to be
In
either
that sense,
you want to be either in front or just behind the bomb. Is that the correct
yes.
thinking about
Yeah.
it?
You want to be
Okay.
just before the bomb lands, you want to be in the safe zone.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be in front of the bomb, just in front of the bomb,
Yeah, so
because it kind of
yeah,
comes out into
It's
the.
called, what's it called?
It's called
It's
thrill
It's called
bomb.
okay.
Thrill.
Yeah, it's called thrill. Yeah, thrill bomb, but the full word of it is called the.
Because it's
How
Korean,
do I
right?
pronounce it?
It's a
No,
Korean
it's
game.
Japanese actually. It's Japanese.
Well, I'm here. Let me go find it.
Hanayama thrill bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Kanatama?
Hanayama thrill bomb.
Hanatama?
Hanayama. Yama.
Hanatama? Nani?
Hanayama.
Hanayama thrill bomb. Yeah.
Wait.
Hanayama.
It's about 2,800 yen. It's about.
Dude.
Yeah.
Hanayana? Is that what I said?
Hanayama.
Yama.
Yama.
It's the brand, I think.
Yeah.
The brand is Hanayama.
Yeah, Hanayama is the brand. Thrill bomb is the main game.
Hanayama? Like Flower
Yeah.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't have to write for you don't have to write the kanji for the one.
Yeah, I'm gonna write the
Yeah.
kanji, but then I'm like, oh, I see.
Cool.
Yeah, I actually want to buy it.
Training you.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that sounds fun. Actually, I might go get it now. It's on Amazon. I can get it.
I know. I really wanted to buy it yesterday, but then I thought not to first.
No, I'm probably not gonna get it. But anyway, okay, that's cool. That's a pretty fun. So you've never played before, right? You just thought it was a fun idea.
I mean, I shared it here because I probably might buy it eventually, like really soon.
Looks like a fun party game.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
but it doesn't look like the kind of game that you can play for super duper long. It looks like
No, so it depends.
I mean, if you're a big group, you can just keep
I mean, if-
rotating, right?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
That's true.
everyone keeps laughing about each other. So you can add difficulty to it. This is one that I saw. You can put shut off, which covers the circle in the middle, so you can't see the ball spinning. You can hear it, but you have to guess when is the right time to
That's even
press,
harder.
let go. It's
Increase
crazy.
the difficulty.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Sorry. I thought my daughter woke up. Okay, so Marv, you wanna go next?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. I think I know what yours is. So
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
you play Marv's one. Joel.
Brace yourselves.
Mm.
It's gonna smash us into the hall.
I think it's me.
Okay, I'm done. Did you hear that last line?
Wait, I didn't hear that.
Okay, basically the last line says, Isaac, it's me.
I
So if you know
mean,
what
I know,
Isaac
I
is-
know what it is, but I don't think
Joe
Joe
knows.
will get it.
Maybe you don't, right?
No, I don't understand.
Okay, it's a game that
It's
just
Dead
came
Space
out.
remake.
Yeah, but it's a remake of. Not really a remake.
It's a remake. It's a complete remake, right?
No,
New
Space
engine,
what?
new
Space
everything,
what?
right?
it's sorry.
What's this thing called again?
Dead
Space
Space.
what?
Space.
Dead Space.
Oh, Dead Space. Right.
So it's not a
right.
100% remake. It's more of a engine graphical overhaul. But
Mm.
almost everything about the game is the same almost. I would say like 90%, 99% of the story is the same. 90% of the action is the same. They just made some parts that were annoying to become much more fun. So that it's set. It obviously set in space. It's set in like 500 years in the future. And there are some parts in the old game where you have to go into 0G. And in the old game, if I remember correctly, you couldn't.
They didn't have it, I think.
You couldn't move in 0G. You could only jump from like one spot to another spot. But in this game, yeah, they made it so that you can actually like fly around in 0G in any direction.
They said it's Iron Man the game.
Yeah, it's like basically Iron Man in 0G. And they made like very minor changes to the story that I think actually made
Make
the
it
game
better.
better.
Yep. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's a great game. I love the Dead Space trilogy.
Franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they'll make the next one.
They will.
I
This
think
one made so much money. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. So
It's
that's
EA. It's EA. They like money. Yeah. So you wanna play mine, Murph?
yeah, sure. Okay, ready.
And then yeah, Joel, you play
Yeah,
from
yeah.
15 seconds.
So it's from
Okay.
15 or
From
15?
no, you can just start from the start, Murph.
Okay.
For me, you can just start from the
One,
you can just start from the start.
Okay.
感じる俺とこの3人カウンターがラストプレイ敵陣を切り裂けこっち見えてるぜ責任人数増やせ
What anime is this?
Yeah, okay. So obviously it's anime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just shouting in Japanese. So my question is, do you guys know what anime it is? It's new anime. I'll give you a hint. It's new anime, and it recently became very popular because of something that happened.
Because of something that happened.
Something that happened last year. Something happened last year, and then it became very popular.
Oh, is it Blue Lock?
Yeah, it is Blue Lock.
Oh, I see.
So the World Cup happened last year, and then basically they have on the Japanese national team. The Japanese team made it. They didn't make it very far. They made it, but they made it past the group stages. They made it to the quarters where they lost to. I can't remember who they lost to already. But anyway, they had new star players, which were very young star players, and everybody was like, oh, it's Blue Lock. So basically, the anime Blue Lock, which I have been watching, it's on Netflix now. I've been watching it quite religiously. It comes out every week, and man, it's the only anime that I really look forward to. Like every time I check a new one, right, I just drop everything I'm doing and I drop everything that I'm watching, and I just want to watch the next episode. So basically, this ties into the next question, which is what have you been watching? So let's just transition into that. What have you been watching? I want to recommend Blue Lock to you guys because I don't know do you guys like sports animes generally? When was the last sports anime you watched? Slam Dunk.
I've actually never watched Slam Dunk before.
I mean, you've read Slam Dunk, maybe? Have you read?
Never. I don't actually watch sports anymore.
Wait, what? That's quite.
Yeah,
Wow, dude.
I didn't watch Slam Dunk. I think the last one that I tried was
Haikyuu? Did you watch Haikyuu?
I watched like
Okay, Haikyuu is good.
episodes. Like I didn't watch all the way.
Did you watch Haikyuu? Joe?
No, I didn't watch Haikyuu.
Haikyuu, the main Haikyuu team, the Sendai team, the Karasuno team, it's actually from Sendai, where I live.
Oh,
And they're based in Sendai. So yeah. So anyway, Blue Lock is about soccer, and it's not your typical sports anime where it's like rooted in like high school. Usually, most sports animes are rooted in high school sports. Very rarely it's professional sports. So this one follows high school sports, but it's a fantastical world where basically they get all the best high school strikers in Japan, and they lock them into a Squid Game style a place called Blue Lock. And they say that the best strikers in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, their way of playing is selfish. Right? They call themselves egoists. So they want to create the most elite selfish soccer players. So this is kind of like a Squid Game style of like, you eliminate soccer players. Okay, so the carrot is that the winner of Blue Lock gets to represent Japan, right? In the under 20 team. Okay, but if you get kicked out of Blue Lock at any point of time, you will never ever represent Japan. Like never, you're banned. Wow. That's the stick. So there's the carrot and there's the stick. All right, and so these people are like fighting to stay into Blue Lock, and there's like I think 250 strikers that enter into Blue Lock, and then they get just eliminated. Yeah, so it's like kind of combining Squid Game, the kind of elimination kind of style show with like football, with soccer, which I really enjoy. I'm not a soccer fan, but the way they make this is, I mean, it's obviously ridiculous. Like they gain powers, that he can see the field. That's very anime, right?
Yep.
But it's anime in a very enjoyable way. So that's my recommendation. Let me ask Joel, because I know what Mom has been watching. Joel, what have you been watching? Have you been watching anything this past few months?
Okay, this is so trashy of me to say this, but
It's okay. Marv loves trashy shows.
Oh really? Really? Okay. I don't know if you're the same boat of trashiness as me, but Hell's Kitchen just launched a new season on Netflix in
Alright.
Singapore.
Oh, that's not trashy at
That's
all,
not
bro.
trashy lah.
It's
That's
so
not
trashy. It's so bad. It's so.
No, dude,
it's so
Marv
bad.
watches Too Hot to Handle. That's trashy. so Hell's Kitchen has nothing compared to Too Hot to Handle. Do you watch Singles Inferno as well, Marv?
No, but my
Oh my
wife.
goodness.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
my wife does
trashy.
that too. Yeah.
Okay. So you watch Hell's Kitchen? Is it on Netflix?
Yes,
It's on
latest season just
Netflix.
came on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
Maybe I don't have it because
Actually-
it's not on Japan Netflix.
Okay. So in terms of anime, I've actually been watching Spy X Family with Paris with my wife. Yeah.
I love it.
It's so cute.
good.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
It's so
Anya
cute.
is so cute. Which episode are you on now?
I finished the season 2 already.
So you're episode 22, 23? I can't remember already.
25. Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
I'm still watching through. It's so good, right?
Yeah.
I think
So actually, I watched like.
Yeah.
No, what you say?
No, go ahead.
No, I usually watch like 3 to 5 shows at one time. So actually, a few other shows that I was watching.
Yeah, sure.
I was watching this one called Life's Punchline. So there's this actor that I really like. He acted this show called Mr. What's his name? Mr. Something's Classroom.
Is it an anime?
No, it's all live action. Masaki Suda. I like him as actor. He acted in this show called Mr. Hiragi's Homeroom. Yeah. So Mr. Hiragi's Homeroom was like quite emotional. I actually cried a little bit while watching it, and then I watched Life's Punchline and I cried a lot more while watching it too. that was not trashy. It's like a interesting show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, that's cool. I Spy Family is really good. If you want to watch a very light-hearted anime that is really funny as well, it's good. Do you watch the one episode where this so there's one episode, I think episode 16 or 17, where this boy is like getting kicked out of school. He thinks he's getting kicked out of school because his company is because his dad's company is getting bought up by this other boy's family. So he takes advantage of the situation by saying like, this is the last time I'm going to eat this food. Okay, so then everybody buys him all the best food, and like they start like, it's like a very emotional scene where everybody like gives him all the best stuff, and they like wish him goodbye and they kiss him as he walks out because he thinks he's going to go into poverty. But then the next scene is that he realizes that actually his company is just getting bought out. He's not going to poverty. He's going to go back to school the next day. So when he goes back to school next day, everybody's like, give me back my stuff.
He's like raped, embarrassment, just dying inside.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so it's a great chill anime to watch. Muff, what about you? I know you've been watching Last of Us.
Yep. So Last of Us, I
Oh,
think
right.
today is episode 4.
So it's 4, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it after this lah. It's
Yeah.
I would say it's the
Good
best video
adaptation of a video game.
adaptation, yeah, to the screen.
What others compare? Is there any other?
Okay.
What are the
so,
other
so we had
ones?
this conversation, right? I'm just comparing live action to live action. Like
So
any
Arcane
live
doesn't
action-
count.
Yeah, Arcane doesn't count. Arcane is like a different world. Like if you take Arcane wins like anything. I don't think it's
Yeah.
possible to beat Arcane at the moment. But you just compare it to like Resident Evil, Monster
Oh my
Hunter,
god,
stuff like that.
Resident Evil.
any video game adaptation. Okay, how about Halo? Come on, like
Oh my
see,
gosh, Halo.
yeah,
Oh
was so
my
bad.
god.
Halo was so bad. Yeah, so it's really good. I would actually recommend it to everyone, even people
Who hasn't
are
played The Last of Us?
non-gamers. No, even
Yeah.
non-gamers, because it's.
Got a great story.
If you don't know what Last of Us is about, it's basically an escort quest lah.
Yeah.
It's an escort
It's
quest.
a zombie apocalypse escort quest
Yeah, it's basically Pedro Pascal doing the thing that he does best, which is
in Mandalorian.
something
Carrying
or
precious
somebody.
cargo.
yeah to another location, and it's
Yeah.
about the relationships that they form along the way and the people that they meet.
It sounds like Mandalorian, actually, to be honest, if we put it that way.
Mandalorian, just that there's zombies lah.
Yeah,
And the
and
zombies
Ellie
in
is not
this
as cute
game-
as Grogu.
Yeah, true. And the zombies in this game are not like regular zombies.
Yeah, yeah. They're made from fungus, basically. It's like a fungus infestation.
Joe, do you play Last of Us?
No, I didn't. But wait, are they the smart zombies or are they the not so smart zombies?
In the show
Mm,
and the game have
It's
a
different,
bit
is
of
it?
difference in the way that a bit of difference in the way the infestation spreads and also how smart the zombies are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
In the game, there's no
in the
intelligence.
game, if you remember, there are areas where you can't enter without your gas mask. You need a
Yeah,
gas mask
correct.
because there
Because
are
there's spores. The
Yeah,
spores
but
are spreading.
obviously, so the creator who was also involved in the show
Mm,
explained
neutral.
that you can't do that in real life because it's not possible that spores will just hang around in one place.
Yeah, in that
real life.
one area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he scrapped this whole idea and he changed it to like a mycelium network where all the zombies are connected like to
Through
the
like
super high
ants.
fungus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you step
Oh,
on a fungus here,
the other
like,
fungus will know.
500 meters away, you may awaken a hot over there because you just disturb the fungus here. Yeah.
So, but it's not hyper intelligence, right? There's no like
No, it's
grave mind.
at the moment it doesn't seem like there is like
Oh, I hope not.
some overlord. But
Yeah.
it just seems to be reactionary where they want to spread the spores through biting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
just wanna
So
spread
they
it.
spread through, right? Okay. So I would say I played Last of Us Part 1 and I played Part 2. But this is proof of concept that when you want to adapt a video game, just freaking stick to the story. Don't try to change.
So
don't try to be
the
smart.
story is I would say very almost like I say 90% loyal. They changed certain parts to make it have
Yep.
more sense. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about episode 3. Episode 3 was a very controversial episode.
Well, I never watched it. I only watched episode 1.
So do you remember there's this character called Bill that you meet?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
Bill.
he actually has a partner called Frank, but in the game he was already dead. Yeah,
So is he alive in this?
Yeah, and in the game they did hint that they were
Gay.
homosexual partners lah.
Yep.
Yeah, because you find like gay porn magazines
Oh.
in their room, and then you read letters that left behind by one of them to the other. So
Oh.
basically in the game, Frank leaves Bill because he thinks that Bill is too depressed. Like he's always thinking about the worst scenario, and then Frank like bitten him already, so he left him, and then unfortunately Frank got bitten. So when you actually meet Frank, he's already dead.
Yep.
Yeah. But in the recent episode, they spent like almost the entire episode, like 90% of the episode,
On Frank and Bill.
on Bill and Frank building up their relationship from 20 years ago when they first
Wow.
16 years ago when they first met,
Yeah.
up to the point where they meet Joe and Ellie. And
Oh, wow.
and obviously the more conservative crowd were a bit annoyed lah because
Yeah.
it's a homosexual
It's like
relationship.
homosexual couple.
But okay,
yeah.
even though it's HBO, they didn't show there was no
Sex.
there was implied sex, but there was no
Actual scenes of it.
R21 scenes. Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
but it was enough to set off the conservative crowd lah. So
Yeah.
there's this half of the internet that felt that it was the best episode ever, and I will say that you have to watch it because it was done so well. It's basically it's a love story between the two of them, and it was done so
Yeah.
well. And so many people who are more liberal, they were crying all that. Yeah, because of the way that
okay.
it was written and the way that they acted. Then there's the other half where like it's a waste of time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a waste of an episode featuring a gay couple. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I lean a bit more towards the liberal side. Even though I'm Christian, I'm more towards the side of love is love. But I felt that I do understand that why they felt that way, because basically they changed the story to the point where instead of meeting them and then only meeting Bill and then Frank is dead, they spend like 40 minutes on
Yep.
a love
Yep.
story that is
It's an
essentially a
important-
side character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it has no bearing on the story, essentially.
Okay, I wouldn't say there's no bearing. There
No,
is
yeah,
some
but
bearing.
very minimal bearing.
So
Because Bill is
basically they changed it to the point where when Pedro Pascal, sorry, what's his name?
Joe.
Joe. Yeah, when Joe meets Joe.
Joe.
Same. When Joe meets them, eventually he does have this realization that he needs to protect Ellie. So they do like somehow lead it to that.
tie into
tie
his motivation.
because Joel doesn't really care about Ellie at the beginning, right? 'Cause it's
Yeah,
just a
for
job.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do tie it in lah, but
I mean, if you're gonna,
I do
if
think that it
homo,
was a bit too long. I don't really care about the homosexual part. I mean, it
homosexual-
could be a heterosexual partner or what, but I do think that they spend
Yeah.
too much time on a
as in,
side.
but the thing is this, right? Is that homosexual couple or not, like that thing, you have two layers, right? One is that you spend too long on it, away from detracting from the plot. That's the first layer, and you add the additional fire, which is homosexuality. It's gonna trigger people
It's
even
like a
more.
dumpster fire of
So,
internet
can
angry people.
have these people who are fans never played a Neil Druckmann game before? I mean, part 2, the Ellie is literally like she's a lesbian.
At least lesbian, yeah.
Like the main character is a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like what do you want from
And the
Neil
other main
Druckmann? This is
character in Last
yeah,
of Us 2
it's like this is him. Like if you don't like this kind of style of shows where they feature very heavy homosexuality, then you're not in for a good ride because it's going to get worse.
I wouldn't say it's
in the next
heavy
season.
homosexual. It's just very inclusive. Like his story writing is very inclusive. But I will still say that that episode was a bit too long because okay, think about it, right? Let's say it's 50 minutes, right? I think you only see Ellie and Joel for like 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's quite bad.
So at one point I was like, are we actually gonna see the main characters in this episode?
Yeah, you see them at the end, right? Basically, you see them at the end.
You see them at the end where they reach the house. Yeah. But I will say that it was written very very well lah.
Yeah.
It could have been a story on its own. It could have been
correct.
Yeah.
But you can definitely write a good love story in under 10 minutes. I mean, look at Up. You guys watch Up.
They cut it in half. I think they cut it in half. It will be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I cried at Up, right? You know when they show the old man's love story.
The first 10 minutes.
It's like what? It's not even. It's not. Maybe is it even 10 minutes?
Around there lah. 5
minutes.
Yeah,
10 minutes, and I was like, the joke is that that 10 minutes of Up is better than the whole trilogy of Twilight, right? Better love story than the whole trilogy of Twilight.
Oh my goodness.
That's the meme, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I've also been watching something called The Physical. Have you heard it before?
Right?
Yeah, The Physical 100. So it's a Korean it's a Korean fitness show where they take 100 of Korean's fittest athletes. So anybody from like Olympic level athletes to they have someone called Choi Sung-hoon who is a famous MMA fighter. Actually, Choi Sung-hoon is funny now because he's actually now a Japanese national. But he's known as the most famous Korean MMA fighter.
I think there was a Singaporean also.
On The Physical?
Yeah.
Yes. There's a Singaporean who is a Korean model. Korean like pop star. Like Korean.
Wow.
Yeah. But she's not heavily featured. I think she got kicked out already.
She kicked out in the
I mean, so basically it's kind of cool. Basically they have physical competitions. And like the first test is like, I mean, if you don't mean spoiler alert if you're gonna watch it, cover your ears. But like for example, the first test is just a hanging competition.
Yeah.
So they hang on a bar and you have to hang for as long as possible. So they feature anybody from like military to CrossFitters, because CrossFit is quite big in Korea. So CrossFitters to Olympic level athletes. Then they also have like models and Instagrammers,
dancers.
yeah, firefighters sort of thing. But right now, I think the biggest people that are like slated to win are like your MMA fighters, your firefighters, your military personnel, and like your CrossFitters. The most like those Instagram bodybuilders, that kind of thing. It's like muscles just for show kind of thing. It's quite intense, you know. So I really recommend it. I think episode 2 when they had like basically it was like hold on to this ball. Basically they set a 3-minute timer, and whoever holds on to the ball by the end of the 3-minute timer wins. Right.
Wow.
So as you can imagine, there are different strategies, right? One is if you start to hold the ball at the start of the 3 minutes, the other guy's just gonna like rip it off you. And so if you face off against a big dude, right, you can either use speed or you can use power. So there's this one guy who you're big, right? He just literally like, walked into the arena. He didn't even catch the ball. He just ran to the guy and just like flung him to one side and just sit on the ball on the other end. Come and get it.
Your mom says it's a must watch show.
Oh, she watched it as well. She's watching it as well.
Wow.
So I came across that. I was like, oh, this is interesting, and it is a very good. It's also very well produced. So, there's definitely a lot of drama they inject into it. So you guys can try that.
Let's skip the Steam Deck one. We can.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip that for another separate one.
Yeah.
Who put the Gunter's Millions?
Me.
You wanna talk about that?
Okay. So I happened to chance upon this show because it got recommended. I was watching the Madoff the
Conspiracy documentary.
Yeah. So I mean I followed that for some time, and then they were recommending Gunter's Millions. So I was like, what's this thing about? So there's this dog called Gunter that's the world's richest dog. He's worth like $4 billion or something like that.
So
Yeah.
stupid.
So I'm not gonna spoil it because I think it's worth watching. It's very interesting. But basically, they have a group of people that just surround this dog and
Cater to
give
its
the dog
every-
the best. What?
Cater to its every need and want.
Okay, more than that. So they bought Madonna's mansion as part of his legacy. He's got houses in like Tuscany, in Miami, like overall. He flies. He has a boat.
How old is this dog, by the way? Dude, can you just is it
Okay.
dead?
So there's Gunter the fourth, which is the very first one that started it, and then Gunter up until now is Gunter
it's
the
a
sixth.
legacy dog.
It's a legacy dog. It's like a legacy dog.
Heir.
Yes,
The
that's
dogs
right. And
breed
it's
more
bred.
than one dog. How do they choose?
So there's the breeding story. There's the how did they even get to this state kind of questions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it, but it sounds interesting. It's definitely not my kind of show.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if Marv likes trashy shows, I mean, this is worth some trashy watching. Yeah, it's quite bad.
It's worth watching the Netflix preview.
Yeah, it's worth watching the Netflix review. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's what we've been watching. Our last part of the show today is something new. Joel is I know him as someone who has a very controversial takes. He is very opinionated, often in the wrong way. That's what I believe. But that's what opinions are. Everybody has them. And so I asked everybody at the start of the show to come up with 3 hot takes that they have, 3 controversial opinions that they might have, and then we're just gonna share them with each other. Right. So I wrote them down. I didn't expect them to write them down here, but everybody can. And you don't need to force it if you don't have any. But I'm gonna start first, okay? Just to phrase it, and then our audience also can react to it or approve or disagree. Okay. Wait, let me look at my. So, okay. So my first hot take is that food in Singapore is way better than Japan.
Wow.
Many
That's a hot take.
disagree with you. But then
Okay,
you are living in Japan now. So
but my difference is that I live in Japan.
I think I agree with
Okay.
you because I think what
Yeah.
people want is they want to eat Japanese food and then come back
Yeah.
to Singapore.
Yeah.
But if you
When-
want to,
yeah.
you have to eat Japanese food for
Yes.
a long period of time, you are gonna miss all your because Singapore has is a melting pot of so many cultures. You can have so many different types of
Yep.
food. You could have
Yep.
good Japanese food in Singapore also lah, right?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. If I had to choose another country to live in to eat food, like because I love food so much, if I choose another country other than Singapore to live in, and don't count Malaysia lah, okay, Malaysia is basically Singapore food lah. Okay, it's the same lah. Okay, let's not take that.
Wow, there's a hot take.
Okay, that's gonna trigger some
That's a hot
Malaysians.
take.
But I would say like they're similar, right? Okay, you can say you can Malaysians and Singaporeans can debate on which is better, but I would say that our food culture is very similar, right? We have similar style of food, but Japan would be a close second. Like I would choose to live in Japan because Japan does have really good food, even casual food. But when I say I prefer food in Singapore, Marv is hit it right on the nose. There's a lot more variety in Singapore, and in Japan, yes, there are good foods. There's a lot of good food here, but the type of food that you can get is quite samey, right? So there's like you can eat like udon, soba, rice, donburi, just like a rice full of covered with food. There's different styles, but they're all kind of like they serve the same style. So for example, when I go for lunch, I generally go for lunch. I eat out for lunch generally, and I eat in for dinner. I cook for dinner. When I eat out for lunch with lunch sets, it's all the same type of food. There's no there's grilled fish, there's karage, there's different types of udon, soba, ramen. But then that's it. They don't have the sheer variety that you can get just from walking into a hawker center. When you go to a hawker center, there's you have choice paralysis because you're like, what the hell am I going to eat today? And you don't have to worry about like, oh, what am I going to eat today? Because you just have so much choice to choose from. So, like, and the thing about Japan is that when you ask the Japanese people what's their favorite food is, there's usually like 3 or 4 choices. People will say, sushi, ramen. Most people won't say karage, but there's just like a certain area of yakiniku. But when you ask Singaporeans what their favorite food is, right? Wow, the choices is
and then you
is-
confirm get argument and
yeah,
like
it's
the
it's
episode that we
endless.
did,
Yeah.
Chi Chuan
We asked,
Fan, walao.
yeah, we asked people to rank their top 5, and then one guy choose Chi Chong
We
Fan
asked
as
our
his top.
guests, and then our guest put Chi Chuan Fan as his number 1 choice.
Oh my
We were
gosh!
like,
I mean, there might be a nice Japan that he had.
No, Singaporean. He
it
didn't
was
even.
his
He
number
didn't even.
1 food, like number 1.
Yeah, he
Oh
chose it over
my.
every type of Singapore. And the thing is that his Chi Chong Fan that he likes, right, is the Hong Kong style. You know, the dim sum style,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
even Singaporean. It's Hong Kong style. I was like, okay, but anyway. So that's my controversial take. I know people disagree, but after living here for close to 10 months, I just think there's no competition. That's my okay. Next one. Someone can give a next controversial take.
Joe has
Marvin?
one, right?
Yeah, Joe has one.
You mean you give mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. So my controversial take, since we're doing episodes so heavily on mechanical keyboards, was that mechanical keyboards are not for gamers. Wow.
Say it to gamers who have
Yeah.
mechanical keyboards. Okay, so please defend your opinion. Why do you think this?
Okay. So I had very deep conversations with a friend who believes that he wants to have he wants to be at pro gaming level. So that's what he believes in. He believes in pro gaming level. So
Okay.
I think he's put in enough efforts into making sure that he is in the front of every game before, so when the game comes out, he will sit there and really just go at it for hours on end, and he'll try to be the top in Singapore, then he'll try to be the top in that area kind of thing. But he never joined team because he don't like to play in team, right? But in any case, his version of what a keyboard should be doing is react as fast as possible and give me enough movement, and so if I'm playing an FPS, I can get my movement down. If I'm doing certain movements, I can macro it fast kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which honestly Razer covers in their setup. So Razer switches are optical switches. There's a laser line in between that it breaks connection whenever you press. There's no way a mechanical switch can go at the speed of an optical switch. It's just not possible. It's just this is not how it
Physically
works.
impossible, right?
Yeah,
One operates at the
yeah.
speed of light.
Right, exactly that. So how can you fight that? And if you're talking about speed, then honestly that works the best. So I therefore believe that this $1,000 hobby of getting this aircraft grade aluminum that's cut and shaped into someone's, I don't know, dog or something, that kind of finishing, and then keycaps that cost another few $100s because it comes from don't know where else, and especially some aesthetic level, it doesn't do the functional part of playing a game well for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
that's my
would you?
hobby, I guess.
Okay. So, I would like to clarify that controversial take. Can I just say that is more on the pro gaming level? Like an average gamer like me, Marv is much more pro than me, but I would say he's also not professional. He doesn't play professionally. He plays it on a high level, but not professionally. That's not the same. Would you have the same take for that kind of person like me and Marv?
That is when the mechanical keyboards are not for gamers.
Yeah, that you wouldn't. You just tell us, Marv, just get an optical switch, just get an optical Razer keyboard.
No. Yeah, maybe I'll say save money.
I think
Spend more games.
I can defend your take by saying that mechanical keyboards are not specifically for gamers. But they are for everyone. But if you want to be competitive in gaming, you shouldn't be
looking for a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah,
they're not going to
I
give you
agree.
the edge that you think that they're going to get.
They won't.
In
They
fact,
really won't.
in fact, it handicaps you, right? Because you're
Probably
actually slower.
does.
You're actually slower than everybody else.
And then what if the switch goes wrong on you halfway through? Because they're individual switches, so if they break, it's really gonna affect you. You can't just switch out one whole keyboard, right? Unless you're bringing spares, which some people do. But
I'm sure pros do.
Yeah, but
Okay.
not at that level. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's good. I don't think that's that controversial.
Oh really? I know a lot of gamer friends who are like, "How dare you say that? I
Because
can get as many keyboards."
They probably have the wrong idea of what custom built mechanical keyboard is for.
That's right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. They want the RGB. They want the fanciness of it. Dude, RGB is one. So I've got requests before that the keyboard must have RGB. So I said, okay, sure, I'll find an RGB keyboard just for you.
No,
They
yeah,
want the aesthetic, the feel of it. Yeah.
Just to me, the mechanical keyboard is an extension of your style, right? I think that
Yeah,
some people can appreciate it. So the way that you type out, like the keyboard experience, the typing experience is important. But like some people also use it as like, oh, look at this keyboard, like the keycaps are very unique to me.
Yeah,
They say
yeah.
who I am. And so I agree from that level. Like if you're a streamer, right? For example, when you
Yes.
stream with your personality is your job, then a mechanical keyboard does make sense, right?
Yeah.
But if you're
yeah.
competitive at any level, then it doesn't make sense in that level because it doesn't serve the purpose that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go.
Marv?
I have a couple. I'll give.
I have a
gaming
couple
one
too,
first.
but we'll just give one. Just give one first.
I'll give a
I have
gaming
a
one.
few.
Number of hours in the game doesn't matter to how good the game is. And the reason why I say is
As in-
because if you watch reviews, right, they always say, like, one of the things that they always talk about is how many hours of game time are you going to get from this game? If you complete the side quest, you're going to get like
okay.
I'm
So you
like-
mean the length of a game? The length of a game.
yeah,
How
like,
long
many
the game
hours
takes?
can you squeeze out from like the main campaign and the side quest?
Ah,
It doesn't matter to me. Like Dead Space took me 10 hours to complete. 10 hours is damn little for a AAA game that you pay like $70-$90 for. But I'm like, it's so good. Like I enjoyed those 10 hours. It doesn't matter if it was like 10 hours or like 20-50 hours.
so okay. That is controversial because I disagree to a certain point. Because for some people, like for us, we have disposable income. So for you buying a $7 game, it's not cheap, but it's not like it doesn't break the bank for you. But some people really want to make their money.
True. They want to
go
make
a
the
long
value
way.
of their dollar like stretch.
Yeah.
They want to get
So
a 200-hour game.
So when
for,
you
like,
so you
$70.
tell someone that the game is only like, for example, you played RE3 remake recently, right?
Yep.
That's like a
Wow.
Resident Evil 3 remake. That's like a 5-hour game.
Yeah, 6-7 hours like that.
Would
You
you
do all the side
pay $60 for that? Right.
As in, I thought it was good enough that I would have paid for it when it
Yeah.
came out lah.
Yeah, but you see, that to most people, me included, like length of
You
game.
only buy it on sale.
Yeah, I'll buy it on sale. Like you're right that
Me
the
too, me
length
too.
of a game does not indicate that it is of good quality, but it is just like how the other components of a game, like we talk about graphics and art direction, sound quality, all these different things, like they don't necessarily break the game or make the game better, but like it to me, the game length is like one of these components.
I think the controversial part comes in if you talk about price. You get what I mean?
Maybe.
If price wasn't a concern, then I do think that my take of how many hours would matter
Sure.
less.
Sure. Yeah, if
because
all
you're
games
bringing
are
in
free,
price, because you're bringing
if
in
all games are
cost,
free, yeah.
or
if all
all
games are
games were the
free,
same amount, right?
no, even if all games will
But
cost
true
the
lah,
same,
true lah. If they all cost like $90, then there will be a problem.
yeah, correct. So like for example, like okay, let's take a very extreme example. Let's take Persona 5 Royale, right? It's a JRPG. You can put in up to, I think the main story, if you play it normally through, the fastest you can play it is like 100 hours. That's the fastest you can play through it. So if I were to ask someone, okay, there's this subreddit called "Should I Buy This Game?" Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, so you guys can subscribe to this. Should I buy this game? People always ask like, should I buy this game? Then they tell you like the games they like, and then people kind of like give them comments on like why you should or why you shouldn't buy this game, right? And a lot of it has to do with game length as well. Like because people say like I only have like $30, but I want to spend the whole summer playing it, for example. Then like obviously you wouldn't recommend Dead Space remake, right?
Yep.
For example. Because that will last you 10 hours. Even at most, how much you can play again, I guess. Is there replayability in
There is
DS2?
no game plus lah. So
Yeah. But 20 hours max. Yeah. So I get what you mean though. Like it doesn't indicate that the game is
yeah,
good.
I think
Just 'cause it's
so. What I'm
long.
saying is the quality. Number of hours doesn't denote like the quality of the game. Yeah, but if you're
Okay.
bringing cost in, yeah, that's a whole different other like conversation lah. Okay,
Yeah.
you go.
Okay. My next one is also okay, let's do a food one. Oh, but I just did a food one, right? Okay, let's talk about all food because I miss food. Okay, I think that Milo is overrated.
I agree on this one. I definitely agree.
I'm actually okay
Definitely.
with that.
This is a hot. Okay,
agree with
the reason
that
I say this because my wife loves Milo. Like and okay, I would say the Milo outside of Singapore tastes different. So like we bought Milo here in Japan, and it tastes nothing like the 3-in-1 that you get in Singapore.
Okay, I gotta try when I'm there.
Yeah. So like we the reason is because we tried it. Like someone buy for us 3-in-1, they give it to us. Then my wife tried it. Then
And then you
then
taste
she
the
was like,
Japanese.
and it totally tastes different. She said this toast tastes different.
So you want me to bring Milo when I come over?
No, it's okay. Maybe I ask Marion. You ask Marion.
You can buy a few packs.
I think Milo's overrated, so I don't want it. But like for me, maybe it's just for me. I don't actually drink Milo in general. Like the only Milo that I think is good is Milo Truck Milo.
Mm.
Oh, I like that. That's really good.
But I think the only reason why I like Milo Truck Milo is because it's free.
Really?
And also because it's like served usually after a sports meet and I'm damn thirsty. So that's the reason why I like it. But I think to buy it at a kopitiam is like a waste of money.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
follow
my
up with your hot take and say that coffee is overrated.
No, what?
No, wait,
People
wait,
who
wait,
drink
wait, wait.
Okay, let me explain myself. People who like coffee or need their coffee in the okay, I'm talking about people who say, "Oh, I need my coffee before I can function in the morning." So I don't know if you guys are the kind of people, but I think people who see coffee that way are actually addicted to caffeine and they don't actually like coffee.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
that's a different controversial statement already. Because when you say
Okay.
coffee is overrated, I was like, wait,
But I
coffee
don't
is
think that the taste of coffee is overrated because it's just bitter.
no,
Okay.
no.
I need. This I have to defend this point. Okay, because this is no, not
Joel
defend.
is
I
a
have to.
huge coffee nut, by the way. He's way bigger into
Yeah.
coffee than I am.
Okay. So I just faced this problem last week. Okay, that means I was using instant coffee of all things because I thought, let me wait for my bean subscription to kick in, then I'll get my proper beans because I just moved in, right? I didn't buy any beans yet. Instant coffee for the past week when I woke up, it did not wake me up. Like I tried to have my coffee in the morning with instant coffee, right? But it just didn't. It just didn't. I myself had bitter water. Right? Actually, I just drank my bath water as I showered, kind of thing.
So that's where
And then
the hot take that you're actually addicted to caffeine.
okay,
I mean, I
so
think it's true. I think Joel is addicted to caffeine.
I just had a cup of coffee just before this as well. No, but like I the taste of a fresh brewed coffee versus instant is drastically different, especially for the morning process.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. And sort of like it's just that specific kick in the morning that you need to taste a little bit different. It's not bitter. For example, the morning brews, like if you do a proper pour over in the morning,
Isn't all coffee
it's like is that what?
Isn't all coffee bitter though?
No. So it's like sourish. It's like it's a
okay. As a not a coffee connoisseur, as someone who tastes espresso and goes, that's bitter or that's sour, and someone tells me, "Can you taste the floral notes in it?" I'm like, "No, all I taste is bitter." All right, and I love coffee, right?
Exactly.
So I agree with Mark, but I will say that like there are bitter notes in coffee. Definitely, that's the prevailing taste you get at the start, but it's not the thing that you drink it for. Like when I drink a cup of black coffee in the morning, yes, it has bitter tones, but I don't like it for the bitterness of it. I think the bitterness is a feature, but there is a certain sweetness to when you drink the coffee.
Okay. So I can be specific on this. So I had asked because I was running around, so I couldn't pick up my coffee myself. So I told my wife I needed nutty coffee with chocolate. That means in the tasting notes they will write down like nuttiness or like chocolate,
Just like
right?
layered
I
on
couldn't
top
have
of
a
it.
floral. Yeah, cause the florals were too close to the bad coffee. So okay, why I call bad coffee like instant coffee bad coffee is because they take that coffee and they like smash it down and get like as much of a kick of it as possible. So it's over extracted. It comes very very sour, or like even if I try to dilute it down, I still get a sour mix, not a nice blend of flavors.
Yeah.
So I was so tired of that taste of like overused floral notes, right? That I said, okay, I just need nutty coffee. And so now I'm at the tail end of nutty coffee. Like I'm feeling that I need floral notes soon already. Like that's so much annoyed I am with my coffee at this point, which is kind of crazy for me to have noticed this. I used to be able to like survive UCC coffee for like really long time. And now it's like I can't handle it. Like it's just not working out. Man.
So my take on what Marv is saying, right, is that do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that is his lack of his statement, which
Mm.
is his entirely his opinion. He's not right or wrong.
Yeah,
He's wrong,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's okay. Like, do you think it's because he hasn't had the experience of a proper barista who has made the coffee for him to taste, like having a flight where he can taste through and understand coffee flavors and coffee tones? Like, do you think if Marv went through that process where someone was like, "Hey, here's a flight of coffee. Let me go from like simple, very tasty." Because okay, when I did it once, right, I had a barista do it for me before, right. I realized that coffee is more similar to tea than what I thought. Like when you drink tea, right, it's kind of just like you just dip the tea bag in and it kind of dilutes the coffee, right, Marv? It kind of dilutes the. So actually, when they make like coffee flights, that means not espresso made coffee.
Yeah.
Not like when they push it through hot water and steam. It actually tastes and looks more like tea in the way that it's made. So in that respect, I think you can taste more notes than you can from a flight of espressos.
Yeah. And that's 100%.
So do you think Marv will benefit from that? Like, do you think his opinion would change?
The one that blew my mind the most is that siphon coffee. Siphon coffee is this thing. It's like this glass bottle thing that you'll see, and then they like blooming the coffee or something like through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know how it works. It works very interesting. And the coffee I got from that, it came out tea colored, and I was like, I asked my friend like, how is this like real coffee? Are you like fooling me or something? And then he said no, but he ordered 2 flights first, so we had like 2 siphons coming out. Each of them tasted so. It tastes like you don't. It's not diluted. It's a strong taste. You get caffeine for sure, but the taste you get is like a very very complex taste versus the regular coffee, which is just a bit of a strong kick. This is like it was tasty. It was like well-rounded taste. Yeah. Also, so this is the interesting part. I'm actually very sensitive to caffeine. I can't take teas because tea has too much caffeine.
Wait. He just said you're very sensitive to caffeine, and he just told me you drank a cup of coffee. Just
Because the tea, the caffeine inside a coffee is just nice for me. Like, if I take tea tonight, like I'm out, I can't sleep until like 2, 3
It's a
a.m.
higher caffeine like level.
It does.
No.
It does, dude. I'm so not. I can't do it. I can't tea.
That's subjective, but objectively, coffee has way more caffeine than tea. You guys can Google it.
To be fair, I've never liked coffee.
Okay.
So I drink tea, but I don't drink coffee. Like every time I try coffee, right, I'm like, it's just so bitter. Like I don't understand.
What do you try
Okay.
though? That's my question. Like, do you try like kopi? Because that's a
No,
bad.
okay, obviously I've
Yes,
tried coffee shop, and then the best that I've tried is probably like Nespresso machine. That's the best.
Okay.
After that, I'm like, I don't want. So
okay.
I don't drink coffee at all. Yeah.
Right. I get it. Okay. So my recommendation for you who's not tried this, right? Try going for like PPP at Funan, Papa Paletas at Funan, right? They will do you can ask for a cortada or piccolo. So it's a smaller shot of coffee, and it's
a bit of dash of milk.
Yeah, and they do it in a nice way. So the original one that I would definitely recommend if you could go is to go to Melbourne and try a Magic there. So a Magic is 2 ristrettos, which is a short pool of coffee with like hot milk inside. It tastes like it tastes even salty, at some point. Like it's a real nice mix, especially if the blend is done well. It's so crazy. Magic. So get a Magic cortada. Those are like my recommendations for like a nice general taste coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you want a coffee, always if you don't like the taste of coffee, always try the milk. Always try milk-based coffees first, because the sweetness of the milk will make the bitterness make the bitterness taste better.
Yeah,
because you taste both tones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Glyph coffee also is not bad. Yeah, Glyph is very nice for.
That's possibly the most controversial take that I've heard. Coffee is overrated.
Okay,
that's gonna trigger.
Okay, we're coming to the end of the episode.
Okay. Last, Joe, you don't have any last one? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to
It's okay. You don't need to pause it.
Yeah, I've got one more, and that's regarding my kid. Okay, and mine is that I would rather have my kid, Rebecca, play video games than scroll through social media.
I don't think that's controversial for us, lah. But
I'm behind that too.
Yeah, so I would rather have I'd rather my kid play her Switch than scroll through her phone.
Yeah, I mean I'm the same. I would rather like Meredith plays games in the future than watch TV. Yeah, I think our generation don't really have much of a problem with that for most people, but I think our parents' generation won't understand.
Yeah.
Why though? Is it addiction?
I mean, I don't know about you lah, but even my own mom was like, "You don't play so much computer games. Why are you playing computer games?" Then after that, she's on the sofa watching TV. Then I'm like, "Bro,
You rather watch TV?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we all understand that gaming
Yeah.
gaming is more active,
Yeah.
right? It's
Mm.
more active in terms of the activity.
Yeah.
Whereas TV is more of a vegetative state.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think for us it'll be better because we are the ones raising our kids, right?
Yeah.
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 So we'll see lah
So,
in a few
so,
years.
so there's a crazy one, which is that my dad used to buy games. Okay, so like Sega Genesis and my PlayStation, right? My dad bought it. He'll make me play games, because he's not good with his motor skills.
Mm.
So he said, "Joy, play this game," and he's just sitting behind me, play, and then like,
Oh.
"Can I take a break?" No, you finish this chapter first.
He's
Then
the
like,
original
wants
Twitch
to stream.
watcher.
He wants
He's a
yeah.
Twitch watcher. He's the
He
OG
wants
Twitch
to-
watcher. He's the OG
Justin
Twitch
Timberlake.
viewer.
And then like, I was like trying to survive it. Like, come on, just let me go take a break. No, just finish it. Just finish
This
it.
is the
Okay. I was
opposite
like,
opposite of our experience, where your parents don't want you to play
I mean,
games.
surprisingly, my parents were the ones that bought me like my
Your
first
PC, right?
Sega. No, my first
Yeah.
Sega Genesis. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
They just bought
yeah.
it for me, and then I think my mom regretted until today lah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have like disagreements with Marianne in the future regarding whether I let Rebecca play. But she'll be a gamer lah. I have
but
no doubt. She
everything in
seems to be
moderation
yeah.
lah.
Yeah, for
Everything in
sure.
moderation.
Yeah. Agree.
Like if you neglect other things, like if she doesn't want to go play with friends, if she doesn't want to
Yeah.
go to school, then
Yeah.
that's obviously an extreme. But
Correct.
like if she her downtime, she wants to play games. And play games with me, that'll be awesome. Like I would love to.
I would classify all these under screen time, and if she'd
Yeah.
rather play games during her screen time than watch TV, I'll be very
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mav, you have a last one?
No lah, this one is might be a bit too
Too controversial.
yeah. Okay, I'll just say it. So if Joe doesn't know, I work as a counselor for the Anglican Church. Yeah. And I've met my fair share of people that I'm just gonna say I think shouldn't have children in Singapore lah. Shouldn't even have children. But
Not
I mean,
not just Singapore, just shouldn't have children.
yeah, I mean
Full
in the context of Singapore, like I think some people are just too irresponsible or
Yeah.
not cut out to be parents.
Mm.
Yeah. And unfortunately the solution would be too far into like what do you call it? Social engineering, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean you can't control people.
Yeah.
Like you can't say you can't have
You
children and
you are not allowed to have children.
Yeah. I mean I think okay, this is a hot take. In an ideal world, we would do that. In a utopian society, like
Yeah.
these are the lines that can have children because either they can take care of children or they won't have any genetic issues. Yeah, but I've met my fair share of people. I'm not talking about genetic issues that here in this case. I'm talking more of like the social responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are just not cut out to be parents or they neglect
Oh,
their children,
yeah.
and then I'm like, why do you even have children if you're not gonna be?
If
Like,
you're gonna yeah.
yeah.
I don't I don't think it's a hot take. I completely
The
agree.
hot take comes to the social engineering
Yeah,
part.
engineering.
Yeah, because people will say like that's bordering on like Nazism and
Yeah.
Do you watch this show called Idiocracy?
No.
Okay, so it's on Disney Plus. My friend showed me this show when I was asking him about like how do we consider like our future and the children's and all that, and like the generations after us and all that stuff. And then he suggested this show called Idiocracy. So the gist of Idiocracy is that the
Oh my
most
God.
middle-aged.
I just read the. Can I just read the?
Yeah, go for it,
the
go for it.
blurb?
Read it.
Because the blurb
Yeah,
sums
yeah.
it up pretty well. Okay,
Yeah.
Private Joe Bowers, a decisively average American, is selected as a guinea pig for a top secret hibernation program, but is forgotten. And he awakens to a future so incredibly moronic, and he's easily the most intelligent person alive.
It's really so funny. So they show this is part where there's this like family tree coming out. The smart people are like, oh, should we have children? Let's plan it. Let's decide carefully about it. Then they're like 30 years later, they're like, they haven't chosen yet, but then now they're very sure they want kids, but they cannot have kids, so they IVF and unsuccessful, blah blah blah, and it goes down. So it's like just one line. On the other hand, this average couple is like, no, this stupid couple is like, oh, hey, oh no, I got you knocked up. Then like 5 kids. Then oh no, I knocked up with someone else. Then they got like another 5 kids. So they multiplied immensely fast. And then the other one's like just like 1. So they outlive basically. Stupidity outlived the
Natural selection,
whole thing
obviously, in
before.
a bad way.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then and then the people who really should have had children has a lot of children. So like that
Yeah.
scenario coming to life, and then like honestly, I reflected on it in modern day, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is so real. We're really facing this issue right now.
Oh, it's 500 years in the future. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a show that I would be interested to watch though.
Terry Crews is president. I mean, there's no spoiler, but Terry Crews is president. Can you imagine
Terry
a world
Crews
with
is in
Terry
the
Crews?
show.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it. Okay. All right, man. I think we're almost at the 2 hour mark, so we're gonna close it. Thanks for coming, Joel. It's really fun to talk to you and
No worries, no worries.
good to catch up again. Do you want to plug any like Instagram or where you are or?
Okay, I mean, I haven't been streaming my keyboard builds. I have a keyboard that I waited 2 years for. Okay, like I really waited a long time for this board. It's called a Salvation, and I wanted to show it on. I honestly thought it'd be here by now. Honestly, I really thought it'd be here by now because they said it's supposed to arrive early February, but it's not here. So when it comes, I'm gonna stream that, but I haven't been streaming much.
So
If not,
where do people find you at?
Okay, so on my YouTube, I'm trisected. I'm trisected on YouTube. So I probably will record it on video instead of doing a stream.
Yep.
Yeah. Then my Twitch is trisected as well. Yeah.
TRISECTED trisected.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, and for those of you who are listening, you know us. You can find us. Please follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and yeah, Marv is pointing it right now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It's as usual. It's a pleasure to talk to you, Marv, and we'll see you guys next time on the Two Gamer Dads podcast. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.